All I did was accidentally fall into some nuclear waste, but little did I know it would turn out to be a blessing in disguise that would catapult me to the top. But just as I got in my car to head home and change clothes, my body started shaking uncontrollably. The next second, I coughed up a puddle of thick black sludge. At first I didn't think much of it, but once I dragged myself home, I was hunched over the toilet puking nonstop. Everything coming up was the nuclear waste I'd swallowed. An intense chill took over my body, and even wrapped in thick blankets, I still felt freezing cold. What I didn't know was that my body was quietly mutating. When I woke up the next day, my body had somehow returned to normal, and I felt absolutely brimming with energy. Realizing I was fine, I headed to the construction site for work like always. But I didn't expect to walk straight into a gang shootout. I got shot and fell from the 18th floor. At that height, any normal person would have been killed instantly. But to my complete shock, I just lay on the ground unconscious for a few minutes before suddenly waking up. I was stunned. Didn't I just fall from the 18th floor? How was I not dead? Thinking the gang members were probably still upstairs, I bolted home to save my skin. To my surprise, I ran a full 50 kilometers in one go without even breaking a sweat, like I had endless energy surging through me. But when I got home, I didn't have time to process any of this, because the most pressing thing was dealing with the gunshot wound in my shoulder. But right then, my downstairs neighbor started making a huge racket. I was instantly furious. I just wanted to tell him to keep it down, but when I threw a punch, I actually punched a massive hole straight through my door. The neighbor was so terrified they went into hiding. That's when I realized something was seriously off with my body. To test my theory, I pulled out my wardrobe, gave it a light push, and sent the several hundred-pound piece of furniture flying. Then I grabbed onto the radiator, gave it a gentle tug, and ripped it right off the wall. With just a little squeeze, I instantly turned it into an accordion. Clearly, after falling into that nuclear waste, I'd awakened some kind of superpower. To test it further, broke as I was, a bold idea suddenly hit me. Under the cover of night, I put on a mask and headed straight to an ATM. I pounded away at the machine until I literally yanked the several hundred-pound ATM out of the wall and carried it home. With cash in hand, I immediately hit up a convenience store and bought a ton of my favorite ice cream, stuffing my freezer to the brim. Then I went to change the bandage on my gunshot wound, but to my complete amazement, the wound had miraculously healed, and my muscles had gotten even more ripped, like I could take down a bull with a single punch. Just as I was marveling at this, I suddenly heard a scream from my neighbor's apartment. To figure out what was going on, I slowly walked out of my place, only to find some thugs harassing the woman who lived downstairs. Since I've always been a pretty timid guy, I didn't have the guts to step in and help. I pretended I was just passing by and headed downstairs. But the lead thug suddenly took issue with me and slapped me across the face, telling me to get lost. Then without warning, he dragged my neighbor into her apartment, planning to have his way with the beautiful girl. In that critical moment, I suddenly burst through the window. This time, I wasn't gonna let these punks get away with it. The fat thug saw me come back and slap me in the face again, but to me it felt like nothing. The next second, I literally lifted the 300-pound guy into the air, and to everyone's shock,